Welcome to our podcast, Success Blueprint, Episode 3, Managing Stress and Maintaining Balance. Please join us today as we will take you on a journey towards happier, healthier, and more fulfilling life. We will explore as well the art of stress management and delve into the science of well-being, providing you with practical strategies and, of course, to help you thrive in today's fast-paced world. And today, guys, we will be joined by two of our success coaches and our experts on this field, managing stress and maintaining balance. Let's hear it from Christina, Siemen, and of course, Sarah Butler. Woohoo! Hello, ladies. Thank you so much for your time. This is exciting, and I'm sure a lot of people globally, not just for Torrens University, will be, waiting for you guys to, grab some wisdom and, of course, inspiration and be empowered today how to manage stress and maintaining balance. Are you all ready?
Cool. We're ready to go.
It's been Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Let's start the ball rolling because I know they can't wait now to hear from you guys. Let's start with if I'm the one, one of your clients, right? How can I identify and manage stress triggers in my daily life? Maybe Christina can start, answering this, and Sarah, if you want to share some thoughts as well, okay, that would be great. Thank you so much.
Sure. I think it's really important to check in with yourself. So to just basically, keep some time free to really look at your timetable and see, are you being overwhelmed? And be honest with yourself as well, because we like to take on a lot. We all want to be successful. We've got all our goals. But yeah, if we do check in with ourselves, we're honest with ourselves, I think it's quite easy to identify, where we maybe have taken on a bit too much, and maybe we can just make a better time, plan on when to address things, or we could just also find other people who can help us out and take some of our load.
Definitely agree with you. It starts from within, right? Self-awareness. Thank you so much for that, Christina. Let's hear it from Sarah. Sarah, do you have anything to add on to that before we move on to our next question, which, a few of our students and other staff as well are asking about this, managing stress and maintaining balance?
Well, I think Christina, on the back of what Christina said, it's important to do that self-check-in, because then you know what your red flags are. So for me, in a practical sense, I know if I start to feel overwhelmed or anxious about anything, usually that's a red flag that something I sort of need to intervene in some way. And what does that look like? It could be, do I need to go for a walk? Do I need to go to the gym? Do I need to have an early night? Do I need to not binge watch a show? Do I need to check in with my timetable and, look at what's on and, and sort of manage that time in a practical sense, but also personally sort of applying a few things to help sort of reduce that stress.
Definitely organizing your daily activities at the same time. Thank you so much for that, Sarah and Christina. Now, Sarah, I would like to ask you as well about this as a follow-up question about what are some effective techniques for reducing stress and promoting relaxations? Because we know, and I know, but personally, that you have a healthy mind, body, and spirit. Same with Christina as well, and the rest of our success coaches. Is there anything that you could share, like effective techniques for reducing stress and promoting relaxation?
I think everyone is so different. I can only sort of speak for myself. For me, it is around quality sleep and obviously eating well, hydration. Not everyone does meditation, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to sit down for hours on end. I think quiet time or meditation is a really great practice to try. Doesn't mean you have to be an expert at it. But for me, walking can be a meditation. So, I love to take the dog out. And I've found walking to be a really, really great way to help sort of maintain that balance and stress, even if it's been a busy day with classes or working online. Even just a quick walk down to the park and back just does wonders.
I love that. Walking therapy, pet therapy, and that meditation. It could be a yoga. You do yoga, right, Sarah?
Yeah, I love yoga.
It's
That's a
really
big
good.
thing for me. Always
Yeah.
carving out time for that. And you don't have to do an hour or so. You can, starting off small.
10 minutes will
Um,
be okay.
Usually, 20 minutes max could be
Oh,
a good
nice.
start. Oh, well,
Mm.
minimum, I should say. But then,
That's good. And I think thank you for sharing that. And I'm sure, everyone has their own unique way of, getting away from a stress environment or any stress stimulation or something like that. So some of them, just like you, they walk with their dogs or maybe play with their cats or, any pet therapy. I personally go for a walk, Sarah. I love it. 4K, 5K, love that. And it refreshes us, right? It reboots and recharge, and you feel like, hang on, after this I can do more, I can do better, and you can just be
mhm,
the best of yourself, be the best version of yourself after that. And it's a
yeah.
routine as well, right? You get used to it. Thank you so much for that. Let's hear it from Christina. Christina, what else do you think could be your the strategies that you could share to reduce stress?
Um, yeah, I do agree with Sarah. I feel like being active is really important. So I think to make sure that we can sort of fit that in, maybe just, create like a balance, like making sure that, we don't overdo it as in like, booking all the classes for relaxation and then stressing ourselves out over that. But, just maybe allocating, weekly time and, leaving a bit of freedom as well, if the assessment is due really soon, then, but we can um, change that up a little if need be. But yeah, just to make sure that we really commit each week to do something for our well-being, for self-care. And yeah, like Sarah said, it does look different for everyone. For me, I do enjoy meditation, but I'm not really good at just sitting down and, getting in the zone myself. So I use an app. I use Insight Timer, it's called. It's free and it's got lots of different options. Also, like, really short meditations, longer meditations, depending on how much time I have. So I think that's a really good option for people who are really busy, because it is, you don't have to put a lot of thought in. Like, you can just get on the app and see what's available and whatever suits your timetable at the time.
That is such a good suggestion. So what's that app again? And if you don't mind putting it on the chat or comment
Yeah,
section
sure.
below, that would be great.
Inside Timer,
Especially,
yeah. But
a lot of people all over the world, like they're juggling from one work to another, or they have so much on their plate at the moment, and they would say like, I'm so busy, how can I actually manage stress? I can't even walk with my dog, I can't even do yoga, I don't have time to go to the gym, I don't have time to do anything. So thank you that there's an app right now, and thank God, during the COVID situation, one of the advantages would be, the transition of an online opportunity, and that includes accessibility of anything. It could be
mm,
ordering of food or something, having a business online, and this one, having that relaxation, stress management, even like exercising, right? You can do it on your app. So thank you so much for that, Christina, in advance. If you're putting it on the chat below, our comment section below, that would be great. Thank you. And Sarah, either Sarah or yourself, how can someone cultivate a positive mindset, right? Let's say they're already doing this stress management and it's really good and I want to continue doing this. How can, someone cultivate their positive mindset and reduce negative thinking patterns? Because, sometimes
Mm,
there's ups and downs, highs and lows. And even though I'm doing all this therapy that Sarah and Christina has suggested, but now I'm back to this. How can I have,
mm,
how can I maintain and cultivate this positive mindset? Thank you. Christina would
mm.
maybe answer that, and then Sarah, up to you, whoever wants to.
yeah, I would probably come back to what Sarah said though. Like, staying active helps me a lot because, and I think there's scientific reason as well, because it basically releases, the happy chemicals in your brain. So yeah, if I feel really down, I like to go outside. I like to go to the beach as well. I've got a pet. I'm really lucky like that. So sometimes, some pet cuddles can be really good. Um, and I suppose also sometimes just accepting, like, you're not going to be always at your best, and that's okay. Yeah, and if it gets really bad, counseling is a really good option. Torrens has free counseling available, a free 24/7 well-being hotline, which I think, yeah, there's no shame in it. Like, if things get really rough, if it's really stressful, then I think it's really important to reach out for help.
Thank you for that, Christina. How about you, Sarah? Is there anything else
Mm.
that you want to add onto that?
Yeah, I mean, adding to Christina, I think that self-acceptance is kind of crucial too, because we do have, we'll have our light dark moments, that we're the yin and the yang, and we have, sometimes things are imprinted in our lives, since day dot. So it's kind of like being curious about why that is there, um, and looking at ourselves without that judgment. And it is sometimes going, okay, well, that's there, that thought is there, but I know that I can now think about it in another way. And it's often just really holding space for that thought and being curious about it, and then thinking, well, what would it look like if I tried this? And then, like anything, your brain's like a muscle. It can, over time, really start defaulting to more of that positive mindset. But it does take work, like any sort of workout. So I do think that being curious about it and that self-acceptance is really important, and also just community. So friendships, connecting in with people that you love and who know you and can help you and support you is also really, really important, because it's often those outside of yourself who will always call out the best in you and say, like when I've had my moments, friends will say, hey, Sarah, this is not you. We know how you can get through this. You've been through this before. And it's often that build up through community and friends.
That's good to hear from you, Sarah, and of course, Christina. It's nice to hear that, having that positive mindset, the people around you, obviously, you have to make sure that you blend with people, with like minded people who can support you to ascend and not to descend, right? And who
Mm.
can really, gauge your, help you grow professionally and personally at the same time. That is very important and crucial as well, right? And choosing the right people who could surround you every day, right? Whether at work, at school, or in your family life. That's very important. And also, as well as we are aware that we have workshops that we actually conduct at school as well at Torrens University. That's the best thing, right? One of the support systems is not just the counseling, the well-being, and everything. We've also got some workshops to help everyone learn something about how to really improve your positive mindset. And talking about that in the neuroplasticity, what Sarah is talking about it a while ago. So please watch a workshop about it, right, Sarah and Christina? And also you have mentioned about exercises and everything, right? I know this is quite a, a very easy question for us and easy for us to answer this. But and some people would always ask us, what role does any exercises play in managing stress and improving overall our well-being? Because some people doesn't want to do any exercises. We just want something instant. But what's the
Mm.
role of these exercises play in managing stress and overall well-being? Christina,
Mm.
would you like to?
Yeah, probably.
Mm.
Yeah, just like it's nice to take a break, I suppose. If you as a student, you sit down, you use your brain a lot. So sometimes to just get your blood moving. It's better for your posture as well. So in addition to having those feel good chemicals released, it's just staying fit, I suppose. Physically will also in the end affect your mental health. So I do think that's a really important um, tool you can use. But then obviously everyone's different. Everyone has different capacity. And I think, there's so many different options. You could do yoga. You could do more high intensity workouts. You could do group sports. So I think there really should be something for everyone. And even if it's just going for a walk with your dog, for example, I think that is also exercise. And I feel like most people I talk to that incorporate some sort of exercise do really enjoy it, and there is science to back it as well.
I think it's really hard. Thank you so much for that, Christina. I think it's quite hard to start to begin with when it comes to exercise, because like it takes a lot of effort. But I know a while ago, you and Sarah not only talking about physical exercises, there's also like music therapy and all that. So there are different avenues of doing something to improve your coping of your stress, in your daily activities, right? And how about Sarah? Do you have any thoughts about it? Like, what's the role of
Yeah, I think it's
exercise?
really, really important. I guess too, it really comes back to what's been instilled, I think, as a young age, because I think that's often where we might have some blockages around exercising. And um, I was sometimes I get inspiration from watching other people on Instagram or whatever, and even I tried skipping, which I loved. It was like started off skipping on the spot 10 minutes a day, and that's all it was. Got your heart rate up, started building muscle, and often, I mean, most people I think who exercise regularly, me included, would say I hate doing it. I hate trying to start it, but once you've done it, you feel better, and it really just comes down to this is how I see it with myself, is, well, who do I want to be? How do I be the best version of myself? How do I remain healthy and happy so that I can manage all the things in my life? And all I know is the times that I've really slacked off with exercise, or just let other things get in the way, I don't feel as great, and that's the red flag for me. Like I said before, it's having that awareness. Well, hold on a sec, I'm not feeling great. What's the red flag? Oh, I haven't actually gone out and done anything in the last week or 3 days or whatever it's been. And I just know that it's kind of, I need to start having another action and, go for a walk, go to the gym, skip for 10 minutes. I don't know, just something to move.
That's a good point, actually, because it's also very effective if you start less and then you just increment as well. Whether this is an exercise, physical exercise, or any other therapy that both of you have mentioned a while ago. If you start once a week and then increment to twice a week, 3 times a week, and you'll never know, you'll get used to it, and it's part of your routine, and you feel like, oh, this is. And when you look back, you feel like, I've improved a lot. The way I see things, the way I think, the way I decide on things, and the outcome itself, the output it's much better compared before, because you've incorporated those different strategies, therapies, and exercises to maintain your well-being and less stress at the same time. We can't avoid stress, but at least there are ways that we can do something to overcome this. And thank you, Sarah and Christina, for sharing your thoughts about it. Now, speaking of the meditation a while ago, like yoga, you've mentioned about that, Sarah, and also Christina, right? How can, or myself, how can I incorporate mindfulness and meditation into my busy daily routine to reduce stress? I'm sure this is easy for you, but it's hard for other people. What do you think? Let's start with Sarah or Christina, either.
Okay, if you like. So to go?
Okay, Sarah.
I think this. I think the breathing, like how we sort of conscious of our breath. I think, like even just mindful eating. Sometimes we're eating on the go, and it's just, well, even simple steps of, if I have a meal in front of me, or what would I stopping and taking a couple of deep breaths. Often our phones are enormous distractions too. So, we've got a rule in our house: no phones at the table, no phones while you're eating. But that's just kind of things that we've put in our home just to incorporate and instill that mindfulness and being present to what's in front of you. So that's just a little tip from me.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Sarah. Let's hear it from Christina. What do you think?
I think, for me, like small rituals help a lot. Like, say, if I'm at home or if I'm on campus as well, I like to make a tea. So it's just like maybe taking 10 minutes, going to the kitchen, maybe having a chat to someone else on the way as well. But usually I'm on my own and I can focus on making the tea, and that kind of brings me into the moment and I forget about all the things I have to do. And, for those, 10, 15 minutes, I'm just there enjoying my tea. And maybe my thoughts wander to somewhere else, but I feel like that definitely kind of does it for me when I'm at work or, studying, that sort of thing. Other than that, I'd probably also suggest journaling. It is really hard to be consistent with that for me, but lots of other people are a lot better. And I think when you do it though, and when I have done it, it can be eye-opening, because it's like it's really just you it takes a while maybe to bring something to paper, but then once you do that more regularly, it really does the trick to kind of like bring you back to what's important, and to experience really just being in that moment.
Yeah, and it's nice as well, like, when you start the day, you have that vision. What am I expecting for the day? Especially if you have lots on your plate. For example, you've got assessments to do, you've got work to do, you've got your family. If some people has children as well, you have to make sure that you schedule your daily activities. Otherwise, you'll be overwhelmed and you can't even fit in that mindfulness, and you won't be able to sleep as well better, right? It's all like escalates into something. And that's a good point, that you need to make sure that you plan your day. At least, for example, I don't know, what time do you normally wake up, Christina and Sarah, during work day? Do you wake up at 5 o'clock and do your yoga or something, meditation? What do you do? Share your thoughts.
Well, usual routine for me with my kids is when they start back at school, it's definitely an early start, 6:30, usually a dog walk.
Nice.
And then I look at my gym schedules and see if I can slot in a quick lunchtime yoga or evening class or late morning.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Although, yeah, bedtime for me, I tend to stay up till about 10:30 because I actually love to read before bed.
All right. And that stimulates you. That's also part of you, like, reducing that stress, right? Reading something that would stimulate more your
Yep.
what you call it, your neurons.
And
Your
and
neurons
trying not to, not
reignite.
not on my phone, reading an actual book.
But at least you have something that you redivert instead of thinking of the stress and creating your own stress. It's not even healthier as well. Thank you for that, Sarah. How about you, Christina? How's your day be like, being for like Monday to Friday working? What time do you normally wake up? And what's your sort of like routine?
Usually like 7:30. I don't have kids, so I can just focus on myself, which is really nice. But then I do have a cat, so he comes first. I go feed him. In the mornings, to be honest, I'm not really a big morning person, so I just do my usual routine, as in like, get up, have a tea, feed the cat, get ready for work. But then at night, I like to do a walk. So that's usually every night, if it's a small walk, just to the shops and, get some stuff for dinner, or maybe it's a bigger one to the park. I try to be consistent with that. And then, I do like to do sports as well. So I try to, incorporate yoga here and there. My New Year's resolution is to go to the gym more. But I feel like I'm trying to be really mindful of, when I can fit it in, rather than like forcing myself to do it every day. So I don't know if I have too much of a routine with that. But I guess the routine is to just do something every day, that is keeping me active.
Because you both know anyways how much you could handle every day. And for you guys who are watching right now, you know yourself better than anyone else. You know what you can handle every day. So don't overdo it just to pursue that vision. Like, I need to balance everything, but then you're overwhelmed. So you know yourself. And
Well,
just like
Christina
me,
and I are both students as well. So we're going to start studying. So that's when it's going to get, the rubber hits the road a bit more too, because we have that commitment of study. So
it would be hard sometimes to juggle everything, right? So that's good.
But I feel like it is even more important in a way, because then time gets so tight that you feel like it's harder to make that time, and you really have to make those priorities right. But I do agree, that you really, I think it's really working out what works for you, and then just committing to that, rather than feeling like, sometimes, we see other people go to the gym, I don't know, every day for an hour, and it just doesn't fit our timetable. Maybe it doesn't even work for us. We don't actually enjoy it. It doesn't, it stresses us out more. Than I think to really then understand, okay, that isn't the right thing for me, and maybe looking for an alternative. I think that's really important. Yeah, I feel like it's been a lot of trial and error for me with that stuff as well. Like it's easy to sometimes feel like, okay, that's good. Everyone's like, say the journaling, for example, as well. Everyone's, talking about it. And I do think it is beneficial, but only when it actually works for you.
And it's good.
Maybe once a week, so that's fine.
And that's a good point. You need to do the trial and error, what works for you every day. And then maybe after a week, you'll change that, revise, review, reevaluate until you feel like I'm comfortable with this routine. Like just like me, I make sure that I have, when I wake up in the morning at 6 o'clock, I have my meditation for 10 minutes and then I have my physical exercise for 10 minutes. I don't want to overdo it, And then before I sleep, after work, I make sure that I go for a walk as well. And that works for me. And for others, they don't want to go for a walk after work because they're already, very tired. But for me, it energizes me. And it's like I'm being rebooted again. I'm being recharged. It's really good. Once again, guys, you can find your routine to maintain work-life balance, to maintain as well, manage your stress and maintain a well-balanced life daily. So it's up to you. And also when you listen to this recorded as well in the future, you'll be able to understand better yourself. Which one shall I do in order for me to overcome stress? Now, speaking of stress, some of the stress, I don't know if you will agree with this, it could be one of the causes or etiology could be lack of sleep, right? That could be part of the stress. That's why you can't cope your daily activities because of the 3 hours sleep, perhaps 2 hours sleep every day, which is not healthy anymore. How can someone improve their sleep quality to better manage their stress and promote well-being? Let's hear it from you, Christina.
I think something that helps me a lot is to limit screen time, especially before bed. I can definitely tell a difference if I've, been scrolling on my phone for about half an hour. I think it's to do with the bright light as well. And then another reason that why, like the light can be affecting you as well. Like say if you have no blinds, like if your room is quite light still in summer, for example, at night, then, you may want to look at some good blinds if you can, if you're not renting or can find some sort of solution. I think that helps too, to just make sure that you have a nice, calm, dark place where you go to every night. And yeah, it can also help again to exercise. So if you're, the more exhausted you are, the more likely you are to then, actually get into sleep mode. So maybe, for me, for people to try something. For me, walk at night works for that as well. So I come home and I feel a lot more relaxed and ready for bed than if I was like working and scrolling until the very last minute. And then, my head's full of thoughts and it gets really hard to find sleep.
That's good to know, Christina. And again, it's a matter of really knowing what's happening and your self-awareness, what are the culprit of you not sleeping well. And with that, you can target, the cause or the causes of it. And then maybe you can see a doctor as well in order for you to, some of them, they manage it with medication, the melatonin or something, depending on the age, There's so many ways that you can do it, but you can also ask your GP, apart from what Christina has mentioned a while ago. And again, I think, with the blind, curtain, or make sure that there's not much of the light or the sunlight and all that, because otherwise you wake up more earlier than what is expected. We're hoping that as adults, we should sleep 6 to 8 hours, right? 10 hours would be good, right? Or 9 hours, but at least 6 to 8 hours, but less than 6 hours is not healthy anymore, right, Christina? So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, Christina. How about Sarah?
I think, there's the main culprits, I think, that stop us from sleeping are those stimulants, whether it's the screens, which there's, science say that that's just not good for us to be sort of consuming all that before bed, caffeine or alcohol, those things. So I guess it comes back to what I said before about knowing what the red flags are. And that's a self-check-in for me all the time. If I haven't slept well or I know I'm not sleeping well, it usually is, okay, so what's changed in my routine? What's happened? Oh, maybe I had too much coffee in the afternoon, or maybe I, was on my phone So it really is sort of checking into what each person's so individual around this, but there's definitely the stimulants that you can keep us up. Magnesium's always really safe and good to take, whether it's a bath or a foot bath. So magnesium's always great for promoting sleep. Lots of water, herbal teas, chamomile teas, sleep teas. What else? Yeah, so I think, and that wind down, so sort of reducing that lighting and is also really cool. I love that, what Christina said there.
Yeah, and that phone, what you call social media, it's number one culprit, right? Once you start scrolling, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you're not actually aware that it's already like 5 hours and it's already 2 a.m. and time for bed, and you can't even sleep anymore because you already stimulated your brain to keep going, And again, guys, listen to what Christina and Sarah has mentioned, that you need to, have that time, what you call this, that time frame of when you can just use your phone, your social medias and all that, maybe until 7 only, and that's it.
Yeah, you can actually set time limits as well.
Yeah.
Do not disturb. I set my phone to do not disturb from a certain time.
Oh, that's a good idea. Do not disturb. Is that for both Android and Apple? I hope so.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Yes, Christina?
I think there's also apps that allow you to basically, it's almost like blocking out social media apps. So you will not, it's basically like a timer. So you can't access, say, Instagram or Facebook for an hour or two while you're meant to study, or, it could also be before you go to bed. I haven't tried that yet, but I have read about it because a lot of students have told me, I've deleted the app again. Like, I'm really trying this time to not be procrastinating. So I think, if you're one of those people that have a lot of trouble getting off your phone before you go to bed, then I think maybe looking into something like that could be helpful as well. And, I don't think there's any shame in it. It's really, like Sarah said, like, it's like looking at, okay, what's not working for me and what can I do to make it work? Because it is quite addictive, right? Like, we all agree on that. So.
Correct. Yeah. And can you share that app that you just mentioned as well on the comment section below?
Called, but I will share
maybe a little later once we've already done all of this podcast. That'll be great so that other people can also try that. And it's a discipline again, right? We set our own boundaries for ourselves. Like, I will only check Facebook, Instagram, TikTok up to 6:00, and the rest will be just me time, read books, just like Sarah's doing, reading audiobooks or something like that would be good. And especially for those who have children, right, Sarah? The screen time for the kids, and especially next week will be back to school. Make sure that the discipline as well, when to have the screen time for the family, and even when they're having that quality time as well, they make sure that they have that specific quality time so that they can all sleep together at the same time, which is really important, right? Now, moving forward, what are some, I know you've already given a lot of effective strategies, but moving forward, what are some effective ways to prioritize, self-care and maintain emotional well-being? Maybe Sarah can start with that one, or Christina.
Sorry. I'm sorry, I was thinking about something.
Did I put you on?
That's okay.
So, like, some effective ways to prioritize self-care, because we're talking about self-care. We want to take our self-power back and self-awareness so that we maintain, that balance and away from stress.
For sure. I'm a mom of 3 boys, so I think as they've got older, I've given myself more space to go and pursue the things that I know that I need, and actually been okay with that. I think we sometimes hold on to feeling guilty that we're going off to do something for ourselves when we should be dedicating more time, towards studies and kids and dinners and everything. What I have learned is that the house doesn't burn down. Everything gets done. So the more that I've made the choice to step away and go do a yoga class, for example, which is just a quick 45-minute one, which works for my schedule, I know that I feel better from it, I feel stronger from it, and everything else is fine. Like, it's not like the house is burnt down, everyone's cool, and I've managed to fit in. It's funny, the more time I've given myself to those things that I know build me up, I'm able to have the capacity to do more, if that makes sense. But again, it is checking in with myself. Obviously, there's days and times where I'm just too busy and I just don't think going to the gym is a good idea. So I won't do it, and that's okay. So, we're also individual, and I really think sometimes it's just checking what's going on in the background of our thinking. And for me, with the kids, it's always been, well, I don't have time because I need to do this and this. But, sometimes it's just about being curious and experimenting and going out and doing something and seeing how that works.
It's nice. And again, life is not perfect every day. You need to readjust, recalculate, reevaluate so that you'll be able to cope any possible stressors daily. And that's really a good attitude itself, Sarah. And that's a good example as well to other people who are, a mom of a lot of children or a student or busy individual. We make sure that it starts from within, it starts from us, and we know exactly, what to do moving forward in order for us not to create our own stress. So thank you for that. Oh my God, this is such a beautiful discussion. I know it's quite simple to to other people, but those individuals who are really into that stress mode at this time because they might be starting a new job and they've got children or they've got lots of responsibilities and accountabilities. They are trying to overwhelm their neurons at this time, their lives at this time. So it's nice to hear this from you and Christina, how to manage stress and maintain balance. Now, Christina, before we end this podcast, is there anything else that you want to add to what Sarah has mentioned a while ago? And what are some of the effective ways to prioritize self-care and maintain emotional well-being?
Yeah, I probably would agree with what Sarah said though. Like it's really important to identify when we do need that time for ourselves and prioritize our well-being. Yeah, sometimes it is just feeling comfortable or okay to say no to things as well. I think there's a lot of things that we think we should be doing, we have to do, and really once we start saying no to those things, nothing, like Sarah said, nothing's happening. The house doesn't burn down if you, leave the dishes one night because you decided you need to do something for yourself. Maybe like a yoga class, or maybe you just wanted to watch your favorite episode. You had a hard day. I think that's really important to just identify those situations and just feel confident enough to say, okay, I'm more important right now. My well-being is important. And you can come back to the things that you need to do still. Like it's, there's time. I think everything else has been said.
What an excellent discussion today, guys. You know what? You have empowered me today. What more, the rest of the people all over the world, they are now ready to rock on and manage their stress and maintain, well-being, which is really, really good in order for us to become a better version of ourselves. Now, Christina and Sarah, you've discussed a lot of things today about this podcast, Success Blueprint. Is there any special message you would like to share to everyone, not just for Torrens University, but for everyone all over the world about this, maintaining, managing stress and maintaining well-being? Who wants to start? Sarah, would you like to start? Or Christina?
Yeah, I guess my simple message is, which is I remind myself, is that we are body, mind, and spirit. So for me, eating well is really a priority, and looking after my body, and then also, once my body feels well, it does seem to feel like everything else follows on from there, in terms of my mental mind and how I feel about things and how I'm seeing the world, and having that inner connection to something beyond myself is really important as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. How about Christina? Do you have any special message to everyone who's watching right now
Um,
and the
I think
recorded?
maybe just that there's a lot out there. So if you're struggling with something, really have a look out there. If you're with Torrens, maybe join one of our workshops, watch some of our video resources because we've all we're similar. We're all human. Like someone else may have gone through something already and found a good way to deal with things. And yeah, we can learn from each other. So yeah, I think that's a good one.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, you both deserve a three big claps. Everyone who's watching right now, give this ladies a round of applause. You have shared so much today. And you know what? After this, I will then go for a walk for 5K for stress management and to maintain well-being, which is really good, and to keep you going as well for the rest of the day and the next day and the next day. And you guys as well. Why not, right? So thank you, Christina and Sarah. You are both amazing ladies. Thank you so much as success coaches of TUA. Everyone is really lucky to have you and the rest of our team as well, right? Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Now,
Lee. Thanks,
thank
Christina.
you. So, like, sit back and relax, okay? Because I want you to be less stressed right now. So, guys, for those who are watching right now and even the recorded, from mindfulness and self-care practices to time management and resilience building techniques, we have just uncovered the blueprint for creating a life of balance, balance of purpose and joy, from Christina and Sarah. So, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in the world, and for those at TUA right now, for all the students and staff, stay amplified, because and you have, always remember, you have the power to create the life that you desire. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again next time for our next episode, our episode 4 with Della next week. Well done, everyone. Stay amplified. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.